What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about some Ubisoft delays, one of which is flat out Skull and Bones, and the other, as you may have seen from other reports, they didn't give a name to it. They just said it's a big game from them. Many people, and I do agree with this, believe it to be Star Wars Outlaws. So Star Wars Outlaws is also most likely, probably like 95%. It kind of has to be the game they're talking about, again, even though they didn't name it. So let's go over some of the details, and let's start with our favorite game in Skull and Bones. So Skull and Bones has been delayed once again, and it's now coming out in the Q4 2023-2024 period, which basically just means January through March, the end of their fiscal quarter. So it got moved basically another quarter, I guess, because it was supposed to come out, I think, this fall. I mean, look, every quarter when they do their financial report, and this has happened for like 5 years now, they delay Skull and Bones. Like, it's almost, I bet you, when they make their presentation for what they're going to say in their, investor report or whatever, I guarantee you they probably have like a stamp at this point where they just stamp on Skull and Bones is delayed. And they just stamp that every 3 months. And they have one person that just does that every time for the past half decade. No, hopefully it comes out, as we always say. Look, as we've said 1,000 times, I'm seeing this game through to the bitter end, okay? I've never done the playtest for this game. I've never played it. And part of the reason why I haven't done the playtest is I just want to play this game day one, and I want to see what the F this game is all about. And I've been saying it for so long, I'm going to see this game through to the end just to see what the game actually is. I've been covering it literally since the day it was announced. Not every day, obviously, over that time. That would be insane. But since that first day it was announced, we've made videos over every single year. And so that was one. Again, that's not surprising, I guess. 50-50 shot it ever actually comes out, right? And we've gone over that stuff. It will, because I feel like they get sued by the Singapore government if they don't. So I think it has to literally come out, or at least they have to keep working on it. I don't know. Second thing, again, is Star Wars Outlaws. So they say it's a large game that was going to come out, I think, also in that January through March period. That was when they initially had planned it. It has now been pushed past that. So basically, I guess end of March or beginning of April, okay, April 2024, all the way through March 2025. It's about a year window, right? So that's the new window that Star Wars Outlaws can come out in, and this makes sense. And again, you could be saying, well, does it have to be that game? Well, it's a large game. We did think it was coming out, in those first few months of the year. There was that Kotaku report, remember, a few months back, that the game, they still want it to come out in the beginning of next year, but they may delay it, or the studio itself wants to delay it because it's probably not going to be ready in time. So I think it makes sense, give them the time they need to make this game have the, look, the scale that this game is probably going to be, right? You want it to come out working. So, if it has some major issues upon launch, that's not going to, go over very well. So if it can be, well, I would say Ubisoft's big fall game, but the thing is, next year is probably the new Assassin's Creed game, right? So that may actually carry their entire fall period. They already kind of have one of those. If you're Ubisoft and you can put out Star Wars and Assassin's Creed between September and December of next year, that would be looking really, really good for you, right? And I hope it happens. I hope they bounce back. Obviously, Ubisoft has taken a lot of hits, and a lot of them have been self-inflicted, right? I'm not saying like it's our fault or anything. They've done a lot of terrible things to themselves. They've made a lot of bad choices. I believe in good redemption stories, or I want good kind of redemption stories, right? I think there is a possibility they could be, going up. I think they've faced probably the worst of it, except for like Beyond Good and Evil and Skull and Bones. There's some like lingering ghosts of their past failures, right? Those are still around. But overall, I think they're probably on the better half of the side of they've already failed massively and they're kind of coming out of it. And I think Outlaws is one of those games that could do it. So I'm looking forward to the game. No rush. Honestly, January through March right now is already packed. It's packed with non-Ubisoft games, right? So give it some time, give it the time it needs, and then, be part of the big fall season. Next fall, I'm sure will be a big season for games. It always is. And Star Wars Outlaws is probably going to be part of that, and Assassin's Creed. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on, and hope to see you all on the next one.